Yeah, so, I've just consumed a dried habanero. We actually, dried it ourselves in the oven and in a plastic bag, which was a bad idea. A lot of the habaneros didn't actually make it. Yeah, no, this is the, yeah. So, it was actually really good. It was delicious. So tasty, so sweet and flavorful, and then spicy, and then painful. Actually, kind of still is. Kind of hurts a little. I'm also a little bit drunk, so, you know, that doesn't help much, or it does help. I don't know. I wonder what happens if I grab hydrogen peroxide. Doesn't help. Hydrogen peroxide. Ugh. Yeah, that's wonderful. Mmm. 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 Yeah. So, apparently, when you... Actually, that did kind of help. Whew. So, apparently, when you dry a pepper, or any kind of vegetable of any kind, it makes it a lot sweeter. So, the habanero that I ate was a very small one. And when we dried it, concentrated all the flavors and everything very nicely. So when I ate it, it tasted fucking fantastic. Homegrown. Literally homegrown. I know someone whose mother grows peppers and whatnot, and it was delicious. So good. So sweet and flavorful and fantastic. Unfortunately, it also concentrates all the heat. But because the pepper that I consumed was not, like, fully dried, the spiciness kind of had, like, this weird delay about it. And it took a little while, and it actually took a little while before the heat actually started to kick in. And they also grow these absolutely astronomically sized, like, about the size of my fist, actually. Habaneros. They're quite literally the size of my fist. And once I get a hold of another one of those, I'm going to do a video of, you know, I'm spicy bread, because I think that is hysterical. Every time that I play that game, I should be eating something stupidly spicy. Because I'm a masochist in that sense, I guess. I don't know. I put myself through pain for the enjoyment of you. So the pepper that I ate was really sweet, really flavorful. It tasted absolutely fantastic. And then the heat started to kick in. It started to get a little hot, a little bit uncomfortable, and then it started to hurt. It actually still does. I'm also drunk, so there's that. Yeah, so if you ever want to, like, dry your own peppers and whatnot, these are things you need to keep in mind. Mainly because anything that you dry will become more concentrated, just like, you know, raisins becoming sweeter than grapes, and prunes being more flavorful than plums or whatever, you know. All these things, like dried apricots and dried fruit in general. It's a lot of the same thing. Also, chiles, peppers, for, you know, those who don't understand the difference between a pepper and a chili. But a chili is actually a fruit. It is a kind of fruit because it contains seeds. And because the seeds are. I actually don't really realize. I think a plant that produces fruit on a vine is considered a berry? Because I know that a watermelon is a berry, and of course all the raspberries, blueberries, blackberries, boysenberries, etc. are berries. But things like apples, that's a fruit. A tomato is a fruit. A pear is a fruit, and those come from tree. Wait, but a tomato being a fruit doesn't make a lot of sense if the thing that makes a fruit and berry a berry is whether or not it grows on a vine or not, because tomatoes grow on vines. So shouldn't a tomato be a berry? I don't really know. Also, I don't really know if chiles grow on vines or on bushes. I don't really know. But I do know that chile is a type of fruit that contains capsaicin, which is an oil that activates the heat sensors in your mouth, which makes them spicy. And, yeah, no. That, my friend, is absolutely lovely. That looks so good. It's so deliciously gross. So, there's that. But one of the things is that whenever you dry something, you end up concentrating all of its flavors and sugars. You remove the water, which means that the concentration of everything else is much higher. Now, if you want to dry your own chilies or any other kind of fruit in general, you want to refrain, like say that you live in a fairly cold environment, you're not going to do a good job if you just leave it outside. I learned that the hard way when I tried to dry a massively sized habanero. What you want to do is you want to do it in your oven. Other places, like if you live in the middle of LA or other really hot, dry climates, you can just leave it outside and it'll dry pretty quickly. But if you live in higher altitudes or like Nevada or other places or like Wyoming or Maine or Canada or Germany or the upper regions of the, Russia or in Japan where it snows like a bunch, or in Alaska, then what you want to do is you want to do it in your oven. And if you want to do it in your oven, then it is best to do it on a very low temperature, because if it's too hot, then you will end up cooking it and you'll defeat the whole purpose of drying it, and you'll change the flavors and etc., 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 etc. So what you want to do is you want to keep it at a nice low enough temperature that it doesn't cook it, but a high enough temperature that it'll start to dry it. And that's pretty much what we did. We kept it at about 120-ish degrees. As long as it's under 135 degrees, it should be okay. For fruit, and the only reason why I say that is because 135 degrees is hot enough to cook pork. Technically, 140 to 145 is food safe certified, which is fine, but that's definitely absolutely cooking anything that you put in it at that temperature. So about 115 to 120 degrees Fahrenheit is about the ideal temperature. Now, if you don't use Fahrenheit and you think that Fahrenheit is stupid, like the majority of the world, then you'll want to be at about 50-ish degrees centigrade, I think. 50 to 60 degrees centigrade. I'd have to think about the temperature differences. So it's let's say 120 minus 32, which is 90. We're just gonna say 90. And then it is times 9 divided by 5. Divided by 5 is times 2, so that's 120. So it's 18. 18 times 9 is 90 plus... No, that doesn't make any sense. That. It's about... It's roughly... Kinda... Okay, whenever you divide something by 5, you multiply it by 2 and then knock off the 0. What? Oh, it'd be times 5 divided by 9. So it'd be 120 times 5, which is 600 divided by 9, which is 2/3. 66 degrees. So about 60 degrees centigrade is about the optimum temperature to keep your oven at when you're trying to dry peppers or any other fruit. I'm also eating up a lot of space on my phone right now. So yeah, there's that. Anyway, either way, what you want to do is you just keep it warm, but not too hot, otherwise you cook it and defeat the whole purpose, and yada yada yada. So yeah, it was delicious, and it was painful. Do I regret my decision? Nope. Bye-bye!